Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for this great opportunity. My name is Yuristiadhi, Masyari Mahasi from Universitas Gajah Mada. I'm so sorry I cannot present directly in front of you all and a committee and also a reviewer because some technical trouble. And hopefully this recording presentation can change my duty to present in international conference in IAIN Kendari under title Transdisciplinary Paradigm on Islamic Knowledge. Okay, this is my title of presentation, Sunnah Sport versus Radical Sport, Youngster Value Construction in Archery as a New Popular Culture. Okay, exercise or sport is a form that people enjoy their time for leisure. One of the sports that many people enjoy for leisure is archery. Increasing public interest in archery has occurred in many regions in Indonesia in the last 5 years. One of the factors that are strongly suspected to be the driving force is a motivation to practice religion. In Islam, there is a prophetic tradition or hadith which has so far been reproduced and has become a motivation for people to do archery. This is what makes archery constructed as a sunnah sport. A growing interest in archery has emerged in school communities and Islamic organizations. Even among the general public, there is an increasing interest in the archery. Outside of this group that is increasingly fond of archery, there are groups that see the opposite. Archery is considered associated with groups that understand Islam textually and are conservative, so they choose to avoid the sport because they don't want to be labeled radical. From this group comes the term radical sport to label archery. So, this research want to ask why does the dichotomy sunnah sport and radical sport appear in archery. Okay, the methods and data collection I use is the method of this research is qualitative with phenomenological approach, and the data collection that I use is unstructured interview and secondary sources. Okay, in the writing, Frey and Einstein said that sport is a social institution that appears in almost every society because it is a representation of the character of society in a community environment. They note that sport evolved from a fun, participation-oriented activity to a corporate-like activity that applies the principle of commercialism and entertainment. Badria et al., who examined adolescents and early adults in the age range 15 to 33 years who are interested in archery, found that some of the things that are gained from practicing archery are practicing calm, practicing self-awareness, concentration and decision-making, practicing emotional control and desire, survive in difficult situations, accept reality, and preserve and work hard to achieve goals, train a sense of responsibility, have enthusiasm, communication skill, become a visionary person, train positive thinking, willing to take risks, and also avoid negative influences. There are many social dimensions that can be read in the sport. Frey and Edzer note that sport fulfills, among others, group dynamic, goal achievement by social organization, subculture, behavioral process, social ties, structure, inequity, socialization, and also organizational network. He said that sport is a product of a unique social reality. According to Falkwin and also a Falkland clan, every culture has its own set of value. This can overlap depending on the socio-historical development of each particular culture. Likewise, in archery, the presence of religious in this laser is a figure of culture dynamic in society, which presents a new value for laser, which is interpreted according to the dominant nature of thought in society. So, my result and discussion of this presentation, archery is constructed as a Sunnah sport by a group of people who believe in it. Archery construction as a Sunnah sport is carried out by interpreting this activity as worship. Archery is considered a special sport compared to horse riding and swimming because it is mentioned in the prophetic tradition or hadith. Okay, and also archery began to develop and be of great interest to the community, especially young people around 2014 till 2016, who later grew up in the hobby community, school, and also society. Archery is also constructed as a radical sport by Islamic groups themselves. This group is divided into two types. First, those who think there are a wrong understanding of the hadith on the archery. They are people who have a critical understanding of the hadith. Second, there is a image construction or archery, which is a religious sport, so that those who do not feel religious become antipathy to this sport. Okay, and then the labeling of archery as a radical sport arises because of the religious construction that arises from this archery by visualizing attributes and so on. Popular culture, accordingly in Islamia, is related to mass culture. Mass culture is popular culture that is produced through industrial techniques of mass production and marketed to benefit from a mass customer audience. The growing interest of the people, especially the urban middle class Muslim in archery, brings about the capitalization and commodification of archery, which is considered as Sunnah sport. For example, the opening of archery course, shop selling equipment, and also extracurricular activities in school, especially Islamic schools. Closing, archery emerged as a new sport trend as well as a new cultural symbol constructed as the identity of a group that understands archery as a Sunnah sport or vice versa radical sport. Okay, and this is in the last slide is our disclaimer that this is our ongoing research that's still on progress for finalization. Okay, thank you for your attention. Hopefully, I can change my duty and obligation to present in ICONIK 2020 by this presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.